Welcome to the Green Innovation Talks with Mr. Banks. All right, Femi, you and I have had quite a number of extensive conversations, right? From using technology, for agriculture, to raising funds for SMEs, to raising funds for startups, and quite a number of things. And now here we are trying to talk about, talking about another different model on how we can use solar. So for our viewers who are, almost everywhere in the world, I would like you to do a brief introduction about yourself, what you've been up to so far, and a little bit about the OneWattSolar company. Over to you, Femi.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you all our attendees and also our guests today. So my name is Femi Oye. I'm the co-founder and MD for OneWattSolar. I'll start by saying Nigeria grid supply remain very weak and unreliable, with over 70% of its population that are energy poor, and 40% of household income, that's about 60% of it goes into generating energy themselves. And of course, small businesses as well. 60% of them, of their profit also goes into self-generation of energy in Nigeria. And of course, this also applies to the rest of Africa. Energy poverty is high and the cost is crazy. Lack of customer financial data, huge technology risk continue to keep electricity access very low. And for most part of African countries, energy companies like solar companies that are off-grid now do a lot of silo energy generation here and there. And there is no interaction, no coordination, or no cohesion, if you permit me. And of course, the grid in Nigeria deliver only 3 to 4 gigawatts out of about 200 gigawatt that is needed. Only 3 to 4 is what the grid has capacity to deliver. And that's probably less than 5% energy access for over 200 million people. So household and small businesses that generate about 100 gigawatt, because that is what Nigerians stand at today. So we self-generate about 100 gigawatt. That is a better past my neighbor generator and diesel generators and the like. And of course, you can see the fine lining, the wealth of the poor is being eroded. And that's exactly what we are talking about here. So what is the solution to this? So OneWattSolar leverages mobile technology to deliver tokenized digital 24/7 electricity. We call it energy decentralization and democratization of energy at about 10 cents, that is Nigerian 36 naira per kilowatt power, to eligible users. Of course, this is backed by our fintech blockchain technology platform. So OneWattSolar is that solar fintech startup that enable peer-to-peer trading. That is solar blocks owner. So you are an electricity user, then you connect to OneWattSolar blockchain platform. That is electricity provider in a digital asset model, removing barriers to energy access and increasing financial inclusion, remove high upfront costs, reduce technology risk, lower transaction costs across board, increase transparency, and of course, everyone play their part on this global new smart electricity ecosystem that OneWattSolar have delivered. And don't forget, through artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data algorithms. So OneWattSolar is able to pay for, install, maintain, and own solar rooftop systems across many communities in Africa with zero upfront cost to customers. And with a lock-in rate, that means that the cost of energy will not increase for the next 10 years. So that is just what Femi Oye is pushing, and that is what we do at OneWattSolar today.
All right, that was a great insight, Femi Oye. But you still have to break these things down for me, all right? I mean, there were some heavy words in there: democratization, this blockchain, and all that. I mean, these are fancy words, right? But before we go to this explanation that you're going to give for me, I'd like you to help me understand. With all these pains, we've all been talking about access to energy. Oh, there's no light, and all that whole story, right? Can you tell me, why do you think that it's still a bit difficult for people to be able to switch over to other, sources of, power?
Yeah. So historically, when we look at it, we had a problem with development. That is why we now talk about sustainable development. So that means that there must be a better, improved, and a more efficient system. Then you abandon the old one that are very, very inefficient. And sometimes it's not even electricity generation. How much of it do we actually manage? Then how do we conserve it? And how do we use it productively? So we found out that when development was taking place, you see government, you see nations, they invested heavily into what we call infrastructure, electricity infrastructure. That is why today you have the grid system that is obsolete, and quote me, it will never work again. It's dead, it's gone, it's finished, final.
Why would you say that?
So I'm coming to that. So
right.
It was invested into so that electricity access is no more just about privilege, that you have money. It can actually become your human right. So you have access to it, you can use it and become more creative, more productive, and you can add value. But over the years, a lot have changed across board. We now have different kind of policies, programs. We have politicians taking over, and a lot of things going on that the required investment was not going into that sector anymore. And of course, technological advancement is also playing its part. So what we now have and what the future will look like is decentralization. So that means that I can generate, you can generate, and as we do that, then we can lower the cost for each other. Then I can also decide my preference. So do I want to go for wind, or do I want to go for solar, or do I want to go for any other hydro if I like? So because the required investment today that is needed to do that, with the complication in the way the world and our communities, geopolitical and all other factors have played in, is making it very difficult to invest on those absolute layer infrastructure. So that is why we will continue to have problem with electricity generation. Even when you generate in Jeba, it's going to be very difficult to transport that to One in Rivers State, because you need to fly it or lay on the ground and all that. And in this age of fast. So why don't you decentralize everything? Capture them, and let everyone be self-sustaining. And that is what we said the future looks like. And that is cheaper to achieve. If you have to build a 1 gigawatt of electricity power plant in Nigeria today, it's probably going to take about 4 to 5 years for it to be commissioned. You need to do ESIA, you need to do community engagement, you need permit, you need to get the land, you need to resolve issue with community people that you are going to use their land to display solar panels.
And nobody likes to go through all that.
And in just 3 months or 2 months, you can deliver the same energy using solar rooftop. So that's just where we should begin to look at. And that is why ordinary people, small businesses, depending on the old obsolete structure, will continue to self-generate or they fail. So it's either they self-generate or they fail. And even if they self-generate, they can't be wealthy, they can't be rich, because a whole lot of ineffectiveness, a whole lot of issues keep on pressing down their profitability and when they should break even.
Now, Femi, that was quite an elaborate, conversation. So if infrastructure has always been a bigger problem, right? Do you think that infrastructure is the reason why the price of power keeps rising on a daily basis? Or do you just think that it's just a basic policy issue? I mean, there's a Nigerian policy that doesn't allow you generate up to a certain amount of power. So how do you mix and how do you match these two together, right? To transform a possible solution around the issue of infrastructure and then policy?
Yeah, sometimes it's not the age or the age behind the people thinking or the policymaker. Is actually the age of the idea that goes on their mind itself. So we've gone through the first, second, third, fourth industrial revolution. We are moving into the fifth industrial revolution, where human being and machine will dance. We are moving into the age whereby artificial intelligence, robotics will begin to decide. It's already happening now in globally. The world has just changed. So that now goes into policy. I would say is very, very key. Why it becomes very difficult for government to deliver, and for what they even deliver on. That's the question. They call something turnaround maintenance.
Maintenance, TAM, yeah.
Maybe when you look at big power plants like the NNPC refinery or the Kanji Dam kind of hydropower generation, they call it turnaround maintenance. What are you turning around? What are you maintaining? A power plant that was fixed, that was delivered to that site more than 60 years ago.
Yeah.
The company that even built it, some of them are folded up because of technological advancement, because they could not move on quickly. So the parts that you even need to replace, you can't get them anymore. These systems have become very obsolete. So that is where infrastructure also need to play the role. So I've talked about policy. So government needs to get their acts together and understand that the game has changed. The world has moved. So what are the better, quicker, faster technology infrastructure systems that can meet up with the fast-paced world that we are living in? So as you finish with one policy, after 6 months, you are seeing debate going on in another part of the world, telling you that policy you are just implementing, they used it, they implemented it 7 years ago, it's no more working, they moved to something else. So how do you want to increase your competitiveness? So that is where so we need to romance this new age innovation technology to be able to catch up, to use the right policy framework to also match it with the future kind of solutions, technology, infrastructure, to be able to generate those energy. And not just to generate, time is also running out, right? We don't have another 2 years to wait. We don't have another 5 years to wait. So we need to deliver it now. Technology is not the problem because it's there, it's available everywhere, right? All you just need to do is put the pieces together through good policy, right? And do that. Then the third side is now the investment. So you also need to be able to catalyze investment into that space, because that now changes the dynamics, right?
Dynamics,
so when the right investment comes in and you understand that the right policy is backing it up, then you now see how you can deliver solution quickly and people can begin to pay for it quickly, because consumers keep on saying that, hey guys, if you can just give me 24/7 electricity, we will pay for it.
I will pay. Exactly.
But unfortunately, our grid, which is bad grid, is actually not even able to deliver up to 5% of what it's supposed to.
Now, those are some very boggling numbers, right? So let's now take from this angle where you've had this conversation. Now, can we take that back to the model of 1WattSolar? And this time, Femi, you help me break it down like a 7-year-old, right? Help us understand the model of 1WattSolar. How is it different from any other solar service company or solar home system and all that stuff? So help us understand the 1WattSolar model.
Thank you so much. And I would start first of all by establishing that 1WattSolar is not another solar company. It's not another solar infrastructure or solar panel. So 1WattSolar is an energy fintech Is a tech company. Yes. So
energy fintech.
OneWattSolar
New one
is a tech company that have understood, based on its understanding of the narrative of the challenges that exist, now built a technology framework, SaaS, which is like software as a service. So it's like a software that comes in an ecosystem to manage different moving parts that is not enabling scale to happen. And it's not just for Nigeria, it's for the entire Africa and even other parts of the world. So OneWattSolar is a solar fintech that is backed and powered through blockchain. And you know what blockchain use case is? Blockchain is a system where you can have different moving parts connect together. Then you can have a smart contract. Then you can have customer, consumer connects to it. They can see transparency. We remove corruption. We remove estimated billing. We remove ineffectiveness. So if you don't deliver value, then you don't get paid for it. So that platform is what OneWattSolar put together to now ask solar asset companies, solar installers, solar companies, banks, investors, consumers, come and participate on this Unity platform across Africa. So it is the first for off-grid and also back-grid space. So for now, the 3-year plan of OneWattSolar is to be able to aggregate and bring together all the players. The solar company that is just doing their solar installation in silos, they need money to be able to scale. They want to import, they are faced with exchange risk. FX is going on. Inflation is killing. And that is also why on OneWattSolar, we have our own ecosystem coin. Is a digital wallet, or you call it cryptocurrency. That is what is being spent within OneWattSolar ecosystem. So it's hedged against inflation. So once you come in, then you are not thinking in the next 5-7 years that your rate is going to change, or the fee, the tariff that customer is paying is going to change. So it's one unit tariff. Whoever you have, whichever the level of your company, you plug in, then you onboard your customers on OneWattSolar. Then your customers can make a request for solar system without paying for it. So on that same platform, a customer in Onitsha can say, I need a 5 kilowatt system on my roof. Then immediately on that architectural, the decentralized ledger, it is fulfilled. A solar company picks that order up. The solar company don't need to think about raising money for that installation, because we have backers, right? On that same platform, we have banks, we have investors, we have institutional investors, we have retail investors, we have individuals that will say, you know what, I don't want to invest anymore in treasury bill. I don't know what government do with my money. I don't want to invest in federal government bond. I don't know what they do with it. So I want to invest in assets that can appreciate and I can see. So you want to know the customer that is using the the system that you invested in. All of on OneWattSolar. So it's a fintech, it's not a solar company. It aggregates all solar company that exists and that will come in the future to come and leverage technology for scale, because investors would only put money for scaling when they know that it is transparent. They can see history. So data becomes available on that platform. You can also see that banks will begin to perform check that, which company is doing better that I can put money on. So this is the framework that OneWattSolar have created. And consumer also, they are the winner, because at the end of the day, they don't need to bother anymore with the high cost of solar panel or putting solar on their roof. So free of charge, they have energy. And for the next 10 years, the rate they pay today might never change. They continue to pay the same rate, and they are not carrying the risk of assets or replacement or changing of battery.
Thank you very much, Femi. That was quite elaborate. But again, I will need you to help us understand this with a typical scenario. can you help us paint a typical scenario, right, of the examples of major players, right, and how these interactions happen with OneWattSolar? Because so first of all, people would have thought that OneWattSolar was another solar company. I think that clarification was very vivid enough, knowing that we have an ecosystem, we have sort of like an like an energy virtual community where everybody plays within the mix, right? From the demand side, from the supply side. Now, within the kind of people that are listening to us or that are watching us, watching us today, you have players in all these different fields and these different, components of people, or would I say, customer segments that you've got, right? So help us paint a typical scenario using all the different customer segments that you have, on the OneWattSolar model.
Fantastic. So when you get on OneWattSolar.com, that is a platform, that is a blockchain platform. And it's decentralized, so that means that it's not stored up in any server. So once you connect to it, then on your phone becomes the server of OneWattSolar. So every customer have that and all that. So you can pay for your bill, you can pay for your electricity through that same wallet. You can even pay for school fees through what you earn or what you save on OneWattSolar, because that is the other side of it in terms of financial inclusion. And also insurance is coming up there as well, because you can now see people being able to have access to good rates and of course the insurance company clearly. So we have about 10 top, we call them tier 1 companies in Nigeria today that are already on OneWattSolar. So these solar companies are called the installers, or we call them franchisees. The franchisees are in different regions, different parts of the country. And also we have already activated in Ghana. We already have coming up very soon in Uganda. We also have OneWattSolar already profiling customer already in Senegal. So these are the 3 countries plus Nigeria making 4 that OneWattSolar is already profiling customer. We have over 10,000 consumers already on OneWattSolar. So you want to come in as a consumer, that is one segment of participants on OneWattSolar. Then I mentioned 10 companies. We have 1 company in each of those other countries too that have already joined, okay? Because without those companies, OneWattSolar is not complete, right? So we need installers to fulfill the installation for the customer that have come to OneWattSolar to make reservation. You're not paying any money, just make a reservation. Once a reservation is posted on the ledger, then it's stored up on the ledger, then an installer that order hub, then goes on to actually see if what's in your that order hub to ensure that you do the energy audit. Once you do the energy audit, it is approved through smart contract. So immediately, don't forget, we also have investors at the other side that have already put their investment. For instance, we're working with tier 1 OEM companies like Tesla battery, like we're deploying massively lithium-ion battery throughout those installations. So we'll share some pictures of what has happened already in Nigeria. Working with GIT-E05. GoSolar is one of the world's best solar companies. So all these people are providing those assets. So it's backed, guaranteed assets. So investors come in, then we have the installers, we have the customers, then we also have the critical part, entrepreneurs, people that want to make money. So you want to
that's a critical point.
You come in, entrepreneurs are people that are doing the customer service on the platform. They are also doing the education, because education is also very key, like we talked about before. Policy, we talked about technology, we talked about finance. Then education is another part. So education is very key. So they also come in on the platform to perform. So this go through, and this can happen within 48, 96 hours. So once this is done and a transaction is validated through different nodes on the platform that it has passed it, we have our EaaS. They also do profiling. Imagine you come on OneWattSolar. We want to be sure too that, okay, you'll be able to be paying your tariff, because investors want to be sure that revenue will continue to come to pay back the money, right? So we also need to get the right eligible customer. So through our AI, then that is plugged in within 20 minutes. Then you get your approval, your credit score. Everything happens instantaneously on OneWattSolar. Then once that is fulfilled, the installer will contact you through your entrepreneur, being your associate that helps you through the entire process. Then they will notify you when installation will be done. So installation is done typically within 4 hours, no matter the size of the system. We have just 3 components. Everything is modular on your roof, inside, and on your house. So everything is connected within 4 hours, and installation is done. From day one, when the light turns on, that you begin to pay just 36 naira in Nigeria, and outside the country is about 10 cents across board. So some eligible customer that OneWattSolar is already working with through our franchisees, being the solar companies that we have on the platform now. They are like banks, ATMs. We have like telecommunication companies. We have residentials. Okay, when you have this new estate, new community being built, is a good plan to just plug the entire building, the entire real estate infrastructure that you are building, plug it on OneWattSolar, and already have a smart contract for each of those buildings. Once you are delivering the house to your customer, it also comes in with electricity. Okay,
all right, Femi. I mean, that was quite elaborate, and that scenario kind of help us understand the whole OneWattSolar model. We have a few questions on our question and answer sessions. I'll start first with he's an anonymous attendee. You don't want to state your name. He said, what do you think are the barriers to you scaling?
Come again?
What do you think are the barriers for your scale?
Okay, yes, for scale, correct. That's a very, very good question. Maybe you are an investor as well. You want to.
That's why it's anonymous, right? Great. We love anonymous people, please.
So to think that everything is perfect is to be naive. So if anything will change, it will change. However, OneWattSolar is an idea and a plan that is about 10-year old today. So we have already done our work to ensure that we put in place all the moving part that is required to be able to deliver that scale. So we've taken care of what if technology changes tomorrow, or someone have said, what if Nigeria becomes electrified, that everyone now have electricity? Would OneWattSolar still be relevant in the future? That's why today OneWattSolar is delivering lower than the utility rates, 36 naira to about 40 something that utility is charging. So OneWattSolar is still at the cutting edge of responding to any changes that might come in tomorrow. And to now finalize the question, the challenge to scale would be our ability to be able to continue to lead the innovation and the leadership. You found out that OneWattSolar is not carrying any solar panel. So we are not carrying the risk of solar panel. OneWattSolar is not the one that is just bringing the money. That means that we have backers, people that believe and that will continue to sustain because they are getting good return for their money. Then we have the best profile technology companies that are delivering the solar installation. They've been doing this for 20, 30 years. They are good. So challenges could be there, but OneWattSolar is actually out there at the cutting edge to ensure that we respond as they changes, because we've got the right partnership, the right kind of ecosystem that we've built, and everybody play their part because we all take responsibility together. So it's a network, is a blockchain for everyone. That's why we call it a unity. So it brings everyone together. So if one part is going to fail, then every other part would quickly respond to ensuring that everything still works together.
Okay, I mean, if I get that right, being ahead of the curve, right, and being innovative in solving all your stakeholders' problems, right, or gaps is what will keep OneWattSolar moving. Now, there's one of our other viewers called Mariam Suleiman. Mariam is asking that she really doesn't understand what you mean by a customer can install solar system without having to bother about payment. How does that work?
Okay, so what we have today is where you need you need energy in your house.
Yeah.
And you have to call a solar company, or they've marketed you, and you are excited that, okay, you are expecting electricity maybe in few days in your house. All of a sudden, audit comes out and the cost comes, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. Is this so expensive? Because of that, we've seen a lot of people turn back. That is one of the problems that OneWattSolar is solving here. So OneWattSolar takes care of the upfront cost, both the insurance, the risk that you would have carried. You don't need to be changing battery every year, okay? Every risk is being sunk into OneWattSolar. So you don't have to think about saving up money, because we believe that the unity is plural, and the future that is going to be unity ultimately will be that there won't be ownership. So we are saying, why do you want to own a technology asset that you don't know how it works? But you might be faced with to change battery, maybe a cable pulled out tomorrow on your solar panel. You have to look for somebody to, and guess what, in Nigeria, most solar companies, once they install for you, they've collected their money, they are gone. So if you're calling them, they will begin to post you. But guess what? On OneWattSolar, if it does not generate electricity, you don't pay any bill. So it's a guarantee, is a guarantee-backed solution that just removes the headache. What you need to worry about is that earn enough to be able to pay for good electricity.
Okay, so I mean, if I'm going to help Mariam understand this, that means that when you're a customer under the OneWattSolar, right, you do not need to pay for infrastructure. You're paying for the electricity itself, the service itself. And so if there's a problem, because it's an app powered platform, the owner of the infrastructure will know when there's a problem, right? All right, great. So I mean, Boston and Yemisi, it's nice to see that two people own a channel. Boston and Yemisi is really worried, right, on that part of energy efficiency. I mean, Nigerians were very good at tapping light anywhere, right?
Yes.
There are some areas where there's no metering. They get all those estimated billings, and then you get nasty billings, right? So Boston IMC is wondering, right, how secure is their solar? Can a neighbor tap into their solar power system without them knowing?
Yes. So the very straightforward question also is, Yemisi, why do you also care so much that somebody don't tap into your energy? It's probably because you don't want to be paying for someone else's overhead and all that. So OneWattSolar infrastructure that we call Chioma is called Chioma. So you're going to see that. So our AI, our blockchain, our asset is called Chioma. The Chioma is already encrypted. That is why it's blockchain. So as soon as any tamper happens, you will know immediately on your phone that something happened. And don't forget, 24/7 there is someone responsible for your system to keep working, because if it doesn't work, they don't get paid. That is how it is shared. So your entrepreneur, your associate will know, your installer will know, because their income will be affected. And even you yourself, you are not going to pay because you've not gotten the required amount. So you don't need to bother. See, the system is so smart that it picks everything. And also, our system is insulated such that once a tamper happens, everybody on the node gets notification. It's not the same type of solar inverter system that you've seen in Nigeria everywhere. It's such that just one solar panel can be on your roof, and that will provide enough electricity that 10 typical solar panel will do. So it doesn't have so much moving parts. So you just have the Chioma system, you have the lithium battery, everything is well insulated. And also, OneWattSolar is only into rooftop. Rooftop means that you have your house, so it is configured only for your house. And if you have a shared apartments. Okay. You will let us know ahead of time, and we will insulate it to ensure that nobody have a tamper. And if it's tampered with, the system will trigger, and everybody will.
Okay. Okay, great. So our anonymous, attendee, I think this guy is actually an investor, if you ask me. So he's asking, right, that you made reference to banks partnering and also cryptocurrency, maintaining of FX rates. So now he needs you to help. I don't know why I'm calling this person a he. Anyway, anonymous attendee wants you to please explain to us that how does cryptocurrency and the banking system relate? One, and also what will or can inform the change in unit rate?
Thank you. So basically, it's a war. However, I would say it's not a war. So banking tomorrow, 5 years from now, will probably be all crypto. A whole lot of banks are already operating cryptocurrency. The only thing is that they still operate it on their server, right? So they now need to move into decentralization. Maybe they are hiding something. That is why they don't want to do blockchain yet. So because blockchain remove all those
gaps and checks and holes and all that.
And all that. Everybody knows everything that is going on.
Transparency and accountability.
Exactly. That's one unique thing about OneWattSolar. So OneWattSolar saw all those currency fluctuation risk and the challenges that customers have to go through to even go and pay for electricity or pay for their utility bill. So what OneWattSolar have done is to have its own what we call stable coin. The stable coin means that it is resilient, so it doesn't respond to changes in currency outside. So if you have Naira and you want to pay for electricity on OneWattSolar, OneWattSolar don't collect Naira. OneWattSolar don't collect US dollars. OneWattSolar only collect 1 watt coin. 1 watt coin.
Okay.
So the currency risk is taken care of by
the coin,
your bank or user outside. So as soon as you cross into OneWattSolar ecosystem, then you have a stable coin that continue to appreciate in value. Because what that means is if a coin of OneWattSolar is going to be worth about $100 in about 5 years. Just one coin of OneWattSolar will worth about about $100, because the number of people that is using and transacting with the coin that will never have to go out to go and use dollar or Naira anymore.
Naira to pay,
what drive the value. And that value is what you are going to get if you ever have to be an investor or cash out. So the wallet of OneWattSolar has a kind of a gateway where you exchange your Naira into the coin. Once it gets into the ecosystem, that is when the security comes into your coin, the stability comes into your coin, and it's not fluctuate. So when you want to pay for subsequent electricity, you don't need to bother what the dollar rate is saying anymore. You are just paying that rate that is already configured in your coin. Yes. And we make this happen also by partnering. We have exchanges. So we are talking with an exchange in Nigeria, BitFX. So let me mention the name.
Yeah,
so
BitFX.
They are the ones that would actually list 1 watt coin. And listing 1 watt coin means that you can now trade it globally. So that means someone can be in Australia, in the US, and also be accepting your coin if you keep your money in 1 watt coin instead of keeping it in banks. So that is how it edge, and it helps you to protect your money, and the value will be kept there.
Okay, so that means that there's a multi-dimensional, face to the use and the, and the influence and impact of the OneWattSolar, right? Using the coin. So Emmanuel Opala is asking that, is 10 cents a flat rate irrespective of the size of the solar energy installation? E.g., will rate for 5 kilowatts be the same for a 50 kilowatt installation, right? That's one. And then he's asking again that also if he has clients who will be interested in the service of OneWattSolar, how does it play within the ecosystem?
Yes. What is his name again?
Emmanuel Okpala.
Okay, Emmanuel. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Emmanuel. That's another smart question there. So, OneWattSolar rate is flat across board. It doesn't really matter the size of the system that you want to request for. We call it reservation. So if you reserve 5 kilowatt system, you are paying 36 naira. If you have 50 kilowatt system, it's the same 36 naira. However, understand that we say 36 naira is the tariff. Then there is what drive tariff, which is your unit. How many?
How many consumption? Yeah.
What is your consumption? And that is where energy efficiency comes in. That is why you need to know how to do the right sizing. So importantly, someone that have 5 kilowatts will probably pay less at the end of the day than someone that is using 50 kilowatt. But in terms of our tariff, is fixed, is the same across board. You now decide if you want to pay more. You are now saying you want to pay more because you want to use more units, electricity units, which you now multiply by our base tariff pricing, which is 36 naira. Then secondly, you are saying, how do you participate? So I'm not very clear about who you are in OneWattSolar ecosystem architecture. Are you asking that question as an investor? Are you asking that question as a customer? Are you asking as an installer, or you're asking as an entrepreneur? So if I assume that you are a customer, so what you do is you go to OneWattSolar.com. So the app is there. Then you can also go to the website.com and just go to reservation. I need a solar reservation. You see the link there. Then once you reserve, you will put your detail, and that is how someone will get in touch with you immediately and you complete the process.
Okay. Well, I think Emmanuel Emmanuel sounds like he's actually a service provider, because he's saying that, what if I have clients who will be interested in the service, right, that OneWattSolar is offering? How does he play? So he sounds like he's actually a seller, or it could be an investor or a seller.
Okay, yes. So as from that perspective of the ecosystem, Emmanuel, so two things can happen. If you are a good person, you just want to do charity, you just want to help your customer or whoever, you can ask them to go there directly to go and reserve. But because you are already a technology provider or installer, so you need to create an account for your company. So you go to OneWattSolar and go for a franchisee account or a solar installer account. Create that account. Once you've created it, then you can now begin to onboard and list all your eligible customers under your accounts. Because at the end of the day, when validation and smart contract is going to be issued, it's also looking at it from the other side. This customer that is on this platform, who is the technology partner that is going to fulfill the order? Is checking. So sometimes why we have some delays is if we have a customer that is making reservation in a new geography where we don't have franchisee partner. So we need to have people like Emmanuel that can fulfill those orders in those areas for that smart contract to be well executed. So Emmanuel can create an account and also help the customer to reserve. Automatically, it is link connected to Emmanuel so that Emmanuel can generate money as well.
From that customer. Okay, so also we have Kumatete is asking that how applicable is the OneWattSolar to the rural electrification in Nigeria?
Yes.
Can it be used in rural electrification?
Absolutely. OneWattSolar was created to disrupt, to decentralize, and to democratize. And democratization only happened mostly likely at the grassroots. So eventually, OneWattSolar is playing a lot of role. However, it's going to happen in phases. So rural electrification phase happened after like 36 months from today. Yes. So because they consume lower and they are more, so they constitute about 90% of the entire energy access market share. So yes, OneWattSolar was created for them, and then definitely they will be coming on OneWattSolar.
Okay, so again, I'll read our anonymous attendee again. Why do I have a feeling this, whoever this person is, is really talking from the financial point of view? So our anonymous attendee, which I'll call AA. So what AA is telling us right now again is AA is asking that what drives the appreciation of the OneWattSolar coin first, and also are investors also paid with the coin?
Yes.
So what drives it? Yeah.
So what drives growth market generally is the
appreciation of the coin. Yeah.
We say is demand. Demand is what drives appreciation. So whatever that you do, so this is the way demand will drive it. So you see the volume of transaction that is going on OneWattSolar ecosystem is huge. Already we have more than $1 million that is going on in terms of transaction there on month in, month out. So imagine when we are delivering electricity to about 1 million, or even I said 1 million, maybe 20,000, 100,000 customers. So it's going to be very huge. So at the end of the day, you now find out that within that ecosystem, already we have about 3 companies that are already accepting OneWattSolar coin for their business. For instance, we have this rural, someone that asks about rural electrification, all these solar lanterns, cook stove companies, we have energy efficient bulbs, lighting, they are all accepting OneWattSolar. So that means that if those companies have transaction of $1 million to do, it is easier for them to use a stable coin like OneWatt to do the transaction because they want to hedge. Exactly. Yeah. So when you see that those transactions going on, then the value of the coin will continue to go because demand is higher. So it's the demand that eventually drive the appreciation.
And that's the appreciation, yeah.
Exactly. It's a good news to investors.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, Femi. So, I mean, there are a few other questions, but again, some of the conversations you've had, you've shared with us now, I've answered some of those questions. Like the other question Miriam is also asking, does it mean that the OneWatt coin can never depreciate? But then you've also helped us understand now that because of the size of demand and continuity of demand, right? And then addition of other products, right? OneWattSolar is as open as as possible to to assimilate other products. So the bottom line is OneWattSolar is a trading platform, right? So it becomes sort of like a commodity exchange, platform where should I say commodity and service exchange platform, where people can buy and sell based on a particular form of currency, which is the coin, if I get it right. Right?
Yeah, that's one aspect of it, which is the currency part of the cryptocurrency part of OneWattSolar, because it's the one that is powering it. So volume transaction needs to go on. So there is an exchange. So exchange is where all those connections take place. So OneWattSolar now have the strongest coin on the exchange. Just like people say Bitcoin is higher than every other coin in cryptocurrency. So likewise, we are now seeing the value of OneWatt coin going up because there is so much coin that is being displaced, pushed down, but more demand is on OneWatt coin. So perception and a whole lot of factors plays in, drives up the appreciation. And if you now hold one coin of OneWatt, then you can begin to bet higher for it. But that one is not really our core. EaaS is for the electricity, but we have created another financial inclusion and also being able to help hedge and remove some of the barriers that we have now in the market, that nobody is solving the problem. And that is the boomerang effect of what good solution can create.
All right, Femi, you know what they say that, time flies by when you're having fun. Just before we go, because the questions just doesn't want to stop. The questions just keep coming. So I will take 2 questions, and then just before then, you will tell us how to get in touch with OneWattSolar. And after getting in touch with OneWattSolar, then you will answer Sean, who is asking whether rural residents can have access to OneWattSolar, meaning that since they don't have, due to lack of access to internet or, phone network and all that stuff. So Sean would like to know, how do you engage the rural groups of people? And then Abdullahi Abubakar will also like to know whether the OneWattSolar is in all states in Nigeria. So 3 questions. Tell us how to get you, how to find you guys, and whether the rural guys can can connect with this because of the internet aspect of things, and whether anybody can have access to it anywhere in Nigeria.
Yes, absolutely. So you can follow us on Twitter. It's OneWattSolar on Twitter, on Facebook, OneWattSolar Hub. Then you have on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram as well. Just go for OneWattSolar. So you're going to find us, and we're very active there. So you can leave us a note, and also on our website. So we have a instant chat there. If you need to write to us, then our contact also is on the website. So if you want to send us an email, info@onewattsolar.com, info@onewattsolar.com. Someone will quickly get in touch with you. You can see our website there as well. And for you to also learn more, it costs you $0 to be part of the change that is going on, to join our community. Just go there to create an account. Someone will probably need electricity, or someone that that might want to buy electricity. So that is for that. And also for rural electrification, we are working, you've heard of agent banking. OneWattSolar is also operating one remote community in Sokoto. We call it Kodola. It borders Niger Republic. So they don't have internet access. As a matter of fact, they don't have mobile phone access there. So through agency banking, so we are also able to reach those people. So these are layers, right? So at the end of the day, full integration happened after 36 months that we talked about. But as it is today, we are not restricted because of internet, because there are other layers and architecture that we've already built and that we are leveraging on. Like we're working with about 3 key banks in Nigeria, where we are also, wherever that they already have their agency banking, we are working with them. And don't forget, most of these community people have mobile phone because there is GSM technology that is already working there. So they can't just use internet, but then they can use USSD code. And the third one is, if you want to join our ecosystem, OneWattSolar.com is the website. Yes, so you can come there and create an account for yourself and begin to engage. So if anything is going to change, I think the change have to start with us. So we need a unity platform to be able to aggregate the silos and different moving parts that people are doing. So in Benin Republic and in African Development Bank and all these regions are already looking at how we can actually make a unity electricity platform whereby investors can have trust and they can see how transactions are coming in. And back, they are curious. They want to check, where is the collection? Is the money really coming in? And everybody wants to be able to see that on that decentralized ledger. Once you have that, your permission, then you can have access to unrestricted data. And to government. Government needs to be able to use OneWattSolar as their aim and need to be able to plan. They want to know who is using what volume of electricity is being used. So you need instant data. I think OneWattSolar have that repository base for data to be available to different policymakers and researchers, universities. OneWattSolar is for all. It's a unity platform. So get on that platform and create an account for yourself.
Thank you very much. And I think that also answers the other question of whether you can get OneWattSolar in any part of the country. I think that, again, being a virtual community, you're going to get it. Just before we go, right? Just before we go, AA, our anonymous attendee, again, I'm just fascinated by this question, and that's where I'm taking it, right? So tell us about how secure it is, knowing how that whole cybersecurity issue, at one point, what do you call it? Blockchain was being touted as one of the most secured, ledger system in the world. But then after a while, we started to hear that, there were quite a few hacking systems that happened over, blockchain. So, not so much stories though, anyway. So help us understand that, how do we know about the cybersecurity aspect of things with regard to the platform?
Yeah, so research and evolution and knowledge will continue to go, but I'm just wondering how an hacker can actually hack a blockchain. You only hack what is centralized, right? So for instance, security, we say it starts with you. And if you want to protect your account, it has to do with you. So for instance, if you have an account on a blockchain ledger architecture, and we call it those ones permission blockchain. So if you are on a private blockchain that is permissioned, so probably you compromise your login details. So that impact only affects a node that is connected to you. However, because it is interconnected, many layers, that hack might not even be very, very successful, except when it has to do with what does not need other verifier or validators, because all these things happen instantaneously. So maybe you have your cryptocurrency account and they said hacker hacked it. Hacker did not hack cryptocurrency or blockchain. Hacker hacked your account because you are the one that have compromised your own node part of it. So hacker cannot hack the entire system, but then from your side. So what we've also done is we have the education, and that's why we have the entrepreneurs and the associates working with OneWattSolar, researchers and professors helping us to educate, to guide all our participants, everyone that backs us. And we have different series that we've done with Access Bank, we've done some with FCMB and all that, to also educate their customers, even though they are not there yet, but they are already creating forum and the type that NCIC is giving us today to also learn about that. So we have a lot of knowledge going on and to help our participants to stay secure on the internet.
All right, Femi, that was wonderful. 1 hour. I think we did exactly 1 hour because we started about 11:16 thereof, and it's about 12:13 now. And I really would like to thank you, right, for your time and for helping us open up this new possibilities and helping us understand that the whole access to power system doesn't have to stop at infrastructure level. It also has to do more also with interaction and transactionary models. And we really want to thank you for your time, and for everyone else who is there. He is Femi Oye. You can find him online. You can find him everywhere. The name of his company is OneWattSolar, and they're disrupting they're disrupting power or access to power models in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Femi. Thank you for your time. And I hope that I hope in a few more weeks or months down the line, we can call you back to know what your model is up to, and if there are whether there are any new additions to it. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much for everyone who have attended today. We really appreciate the questions. We appreciate the interactions, and permit me not to forget, Kevin Uduma asked the first question, and I promised to also talk about it. He asked about biogas and all that. So Kevin, I'm going to tell you that we'll be discussing biogas next week. So we have an expert, Patrick Ognowo, who is the author of The Green Millionaire, of the Green Billionaire, I think. And he'll be with us next week to discuss about biogas and also, other sources of, energy, and a little bit about energy efficiency. So please, we would like you to also pay attention to all of our social media pages. Everything we've got is called at Nigeria CIC, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Nigerian Climate Innovation Center. Google us up. You'll see us online, nigeriaclimateinnovationcenter.org. And then we can share every other, information that you need. And then you could drop us a message, drop us a direct, a DM, or you send us an email at info@nigeriacic.org. Thank you very much, everyone. We will see you again next week. And I promise next week is going to be fun with Patrick Ognowo. Thank you very much, Femi. It was great having you around. And I hope once the flight comes down, once the lockdown is a bit relaxed, like I tell everyone that when I'm coming back to Lagos, right, because I'm currently in Abuja, if it means I will buy a PPE to enter that plane and come back to Lagos, I will buy that PPE and come back to Lagos. So I'll see you when I come to Lagos. Thank you very much, everybody. And I hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.